Star-Crossed Kings continues. Last series probably doesn't count. I don't think I'm gonna upload it to YouTube because it was one game and only 8 minutes long, and then Challenger Antilles forfeit. So we're just gonna pretend that this is the first series of the day, I guess. And it's going to be Cruzz defending Love Nest's throne against Challenger Sirlami, both members of the Finnish Company of Heroes community, fighting against each other to defend a German throne. Cruzz the traitor, fighting for Germany. Sirlami attempting to dethrone Love Nest in this game. Sirlami playing as US forces in the north, Cruzz playing as Ostheer in the south. And we are going to see Airborne, Rifle, and Infantry Company for Sirlami, Cruzz bringing Blitzkrieg, Lightning War, and Jaeger Infantry. Both going with 2 squads of infantry, simply moving to take territory here at the beginning of the game. Third squad of riflemen on the field, and then Cruzz transitions into an MG42. No engagements yet. First engagement looks like it's going to be 2 squads of riflemen to 2 grenadiers. And it's going to come down to timing, positioning, cover. Riflemen trying to use the line of sight blocker. Oh, they just moved. What was that movement? Away from those 2 grenadiers. I don't know why he would have done that. Second squad of riflemen moving to support. The MG42 has arrived to the engagement. Riflemen have to take advantage of this vision blocker to avoid suppression, and they will get clear just in time. Riflemen need to stay outside the arc of fire of that machine gun, and until the third squad arrives, it's unlikely they can win an engagement against these 3 squads. Has to be careful. Looks like he's going to completely disengage, simply stay at maximum range and try and get control of the victory point. For now, Cruzz kind of playing it safe. His pios are not here with their superior vision range to help give Cruzz some information about the movements of Sirlami's troops. This squad is going to go around the left side. The squad moves up into close range against those grenadiers. That squad of riflemen loses against those grenadiers really badly, apparently. Wow. Apparently it just didn't really go in their favor. A bunch of rifleman models dropped. Those grenadiers still at 3 men, but will need to pull back for healing soon. MG42 continues to rotate around, protecting only this tiny little hedge, keeping those riflemen able to engage at this close range. And the third squad of riflemen is continuing to work the right side. Cruzz feeling a little boxed in. His fourth squad is a little bit late to arrive since it's a sniper. Very expensive, taking a while to get onto the field. Meanwhile, Lieutenant is also on the field, making its way to the front lines. Rear echelon troops making their way around the south flank, walk into the base bunker, and will be forced to retreat. One of the few asymmetries on Minsk Clock that I've always not liked is that if you flank around this route, you walk right into a base bunker. Whereas in the north half of the map, it's quite easy to flank around this without walking into a base bunker. You have to go pretty deep to walk into a base bunker. So, not sure what I think about that. Very hard to set up flanks in the south. You can flank around this way as long as you stay really close, but this obstacle that you have to walk around is really big, so... Utility car on the field. He's going to try and get into position on Cruzz's sniper to take that thing out. He's up to 3 kills on it already. That squad of grenadiers will be forced to retreat away from the lieutenant, taking off a couple models. Gets away narrowly. Cruzz retreating just in time. MG42. Oh no, moving to set up right here. I don't see any defenses. That one screening squad of grenadiers was just forced to retreat. But I don't think Sirlami spotted the sniper. If he had gone in hard right there, I'm not sure the sniper would have survived. Utility car for sniper is not necessarily a great trade for U.S. forces. But it's not a bad trade either, honestly. The sniper is 360 manpower, the utility car is 340.
Ambulance taking the field.
Something to think about. Not to mention, who knows how much munitions you might drain your opponent of if he's not got that much coming in the early game. And you can force him to shoot a bunch of Panzerfaust just to get an M20 out of his base, and you throw a second M20 on the field, or you throw a AA half-track on the field next. If you do manage to take the sniper with you, can be good. But even without that ridiculous aggression, without throwing an M20 into your enemy's base, you can still keep that sniper pretty much irrelevant just by hovering in the area, because that sniper will be very hesitant to expose himself. Sniper does find a line on the lieutenant, takes a shot at him, gonna keep rotating, looking for targets. Rifleman on the left flank will not be able to get too close to this blob. MG42 setting up as well. He's simply gonna retreat immediately, realizing how big that force is that he just walked into. Ambulance on the field next from Sirlami. He's healing up here in the base, and he's putting a lot of early pressure on Cruzz, taking full advantage of munitions control, which is U.S. Force's biggest strong point on this map, is controlling the flanks of the map and keeping that munitions coming in, putting Oster on the back foot as a result, because they can barely afford Fausts, flamethrowers, LMGs, all the things they need to survive. Teller mines, medic bunker, 222 upgrades. So here comes the 221, upgrading with the 222 upgrade. The only munitions purchases Cruzz can afford this entire game have been a flamethrower and this scout car upgrade. Meanwhile, Sirlami has planted some mines. He's upgraded with armor skirts. Hasn't thrown any grenades yet, so he's actually floating quite a lot with 58 munitions coming in here in the early game. Going to continue to work the flanks with the M20, make squads retreat, maintain map control, keep Cruzz boxed in. Cruzz is going to send most of his forces here towards the center. Oh my god, no! Cruzz! Cruzz! Where's the minesweeper? He couldn't afford one. He put his only prio squad as a flamethrower, and the 222 pops like a balloon. Look at that mine placement. Look at it. Beautiful. And everything has to retreat again. Cruzz off to a pretty rough start here. Pretty rough start. And the M20 has taken out the 222. Grand's had to retreat. Sniper had to retreat. Looks like he's going to get boxed right back into his base. And we're actually going to see some of the little extra manpower float up here thrown into a fuel cache while he has the advantage to try and hasten the arrival of tanks. Major in production now, and I'm sure a Sherman will be soon to follow. The way in which that scout car died also provides a lot of green cover here, by the way. That lieutenant could set up in green cover right there, make it difficult for infantry to advance without the sniper's support. Tier 2 has been constructed here by Cruzz. Having lost his scout car, he's now operating on 3 grenadiers, Pios, sniper, MG. Pretty standard core, Oster army. A little on the small side, making it difficult to engage against the 3 rifles and lieutenant composition that he's up against. Grenadiers there will retreat to avoid any further manpower bleeds since they're quite low on health. This squad of grenadiers making its way to the left side munitions, trying to get munitions under control. I don't know if they'll succeed with this M20 being on the field. It looks like the M20, rather than maintaining left side map control, is going to make a play against the sniper again. Lieutenant taking some model losses from the sniper, which is up to 10 kills. A little bit more than 1 kill per minute, so a little on the slow side because of the retreats he's had to make. We've definitely seen some more lethal snipers, and the M20 is managing that threat very effectively. M20 moving to the left side to push away these grenadiers. Riflemen will maintain control of that easily enough. And rear echelon troops are making their way to the right to get some of this territory under control and make things difficult for Cruzz to deal with. And since he's now being forced to go with an AT gun, it doesn't really have a lot of manpower to spend on squads to harass or counter-harass. Another M6 anti-tank mine being planted right there. Grenadiers making their way over to the right side. Munitions with sniper support. Sirlami may or may not be able to push that away. Forward retreat point looks like it's getting set up right here by the Major, and Sirlami's going to have a tank very soon. And he's had munitions control for pretty much the entire game. Decaps this point to shut down Cruzz's economy a little bit, and then transitions to the victory point to get that under control. Cruzz sending a lot of forces right. Flamethrowers, sniper, Grenadiers all going right. One squad of Grenadiers in the green cover position here in the center with MG support. Anti-tank gun in the back. M20 going very wide. I think he's going to catch that anti-tank gun out of position. Cruzz reacts very quickly, and he's just going to... Sirlami just pops smoke and pulls back to safety. So, nice play by Cruzz, reacting to the M20's movements very, very quickly and forcing it to simply disengage rather than doing anything aggressive. The rear echelon troops on the right side will be forced to retreat, and there's a teller mine going down, but I think Sirlami will catch that in progress, unfortunately. Nice attempt by Cruzz, but it's not going to happen. Might even... Nope, does not lose the squad. He will react to the engagement in time, and flamethrowers are going to retreat. Sniper has no choice but to retreat. He's at too close range to those two squads. Doesn't want to risk losing the sniper investment. And again, the sniper will be forced to retreat. Again, he's getting no return on that investment for the next minute or 2 minutes or whatever it is. And Cruzz is pretty boxed in. Engagement on the left side going in Cruzz's favor thanks to MG42 placement. Those two riflemen will retreat back to the major here. Lieutenant engaging Grenadiers on the right side with M20 support. Center VP falling to these rear echelon troops. Cruzz gonna try and work the left side while the M20 is tied up on the right, and these two squads of riflemen are gonna move to take control of that. And there's the Sherman. He queued it up a little late, too busy microing engagements, I think. He could have gotten that quite a bit earlier based on his current resource numbers, and he almost loses a full squad right there, too. A couple little slip-ups by Sirlami as the game's getting more hectic to manage. Late Sherman almost loses a full squad, but nothing too serious, nothing that's going to turn the tide of the game. Still managing the right side very well. He's probably going to rotate back left soon. The M20, try and keep Cruzz contained. Everything has to retreat back to the ambulance right there. And the M20 is going to look for an opportunity against the sniper again, I think. He should be careful. He saw those Pyos planting a teller mine. That means that there could be another one somewhere. Teller mine one-shots the M20. Fortunately for him, nothing has been planted in this immediate vicinity. Having seen the M20 make an aggressive maneuver like this twice, he might consider throwing a teller mine somewhere in this general area. For now, he's not going to plant anything in too defensive of a location, though. Rifleman might wipe that flamethrower squad. That's so late. Late retreat pops the flamethrower and the squad gets wiped. Waited too long to retreat that squad, unfortunately. That squad has to retreat back to the ambulance. These two squads pushing away those Grenadiers through the flames. They're forced to make a retreat. The M20 engaging from the left side takes an anti-tank gun shot, but the sniper and AT gun must reposition to safety away from these infantry squads. M20 brought the machine gun team low, but couldn't quite clear it out, and we still don't have any grenade research from Sirlami, but his Sherman's on the field. It's upgraded with machine gun. It's headed straight for this extremely weak defensive position. M20 working the left side, but needs to be careful of a Panzerfaust. And the Sherman's simply going to move to try and gun down that squad on retreat. Probably a good decision. Safe decision with that Sherman. Gets a big opening hit. Grenadiers will retreat immediately on sight. Fortunately, they take that retreat path past the Sherman, which forces it to maneuver awkwardly, and they may be able to escape. The anti-tank gun is setting up to protect the retreat path. No, it's making its way all the way back to the base, but the Sherman is not going to chase, just to be safe. And we don't have a commander selection from Cruzz yet. 7 command points in. I guess he's not sure what he wants to do that could help him in this situation. A lot of OSR command features that are useful don't come until quite late. So, no selection yet. I'm expecting Lightning War when the time comes for a Tiger. If that time ever comes. He has gone tier 3, and he will have the fuel for a Panzer IV a while ago, but he's, again, bleeding manpower like crazy, struggling to hold on to territory. He's had pretty bad munitions control. Trading for territory right now, clearly going in the US favor. Cruzz clustering most of his forces towards the center. Trying to throw down some defensive teller mines where possible. Has to manage the threat of that enemy minesweeper with his own mine placement though. Sherman going in on the Grenadier squad here on the right side. He's using that as it should be used as a counter-harassment unit to gun down lone squads on retreat on the flanks of the map. Could probably chase a little more aggressively, but I could understand him wanting to be careful about mines as well. And he does have other engagements to manage. Rifleman over here on the left side forced to retreat away from the sniper, which is up to 27 kills. It's actually catching up in kills now. Doing pretty well, keeping that sniper active. M20 has to pull away from the AT gun over there. Sherman moving in from the right flank. M20 disengaging from the left flank though. Sherman is not making any aggressive movements. One squad of riflemen will defend the right side VP. This VP shows no sign of ever getting harassed this entire game in all likelihood. And rear echelon troops are taking control of the center, so Cruzz will continue to bleed VPs and be very behind on munitions control. Panzer IV is in production. Sirlami may want to consider dropping himself an AT gun soon. And Cruzz will definitely have to be mindful of M6 anti-tank mines. If his Panzer IV hits one the same way his 222 did, we're probably gonna, I don't know if he'll be able to recover from that loss. Sherman moves up into an aggressive location. Almost got vision of that sniper, but its camouflage protected it just long enough. Rifleman moving up from the left to screen against that AT gun. Sherman pulls back a little bit so the anti-tank gun won't have a line. Second Sherman moving up. This could be a very decisive engagement. Cruzz has to make a full retreat, and his one pack is so vulnerable. M20 gets caught over here on the left side by the Panzer IV though, that needs to pull back to safety. Huge charge for the center, does see the pack getting wiped. Cruzz in an extremely dangerous situation. If he doesn't trade extremely well with his Panzer IV right now, he may not be able to recover from this. The rifle grenade does not connect. Panzer IV shot does not connect. And I think that AT gun's going to be stolen, and now Sirlami will not even need to paradrop himself an AT gun as he has something even better at his disposal. Right side victory point falling to these grenadiers. The rifleman over there did retreat just in time. Healing up by the ambulance now. Cruzz falling more and more behind. Sherman taking shots from the left. Sniper is still alive despite the threat of those two Shermans. It's up to 30 kills. It's probably the only unit Cruzz has which is engaging cost effectively. M20 moves up to take a burst at the sniper. Panzer IV might take the M20 out if it can get one more shot off. Gets out of range just in time. Very tight micro from Sirlami with his vehicles. Not a single vehicle lost. Keeping that M20 alive by a hair so many different times. Panzer IV moves up to take shots at the Sherman from range. The stolen AT gun is pulled all the way back to the ambulance. It's in a very defensive location. I don't think Sirlami feels a particular need to put a lot of pressure on that Panzer IV. He does switch to armor-piercing rounds just to maybe take some shots at it, but he doesn't want to hunt it and kill it. He just wants to manage the threat of it while the victory points continue to tick against Cruzz, and he continues to work the flanks with his infantry squads. This Sherman has driven right into Cruzz's base to start working on some of the base defenses and force movements from the Panzer IV to be a little bit more defensive. This Sherman might go down if it's not careful. Gonna take a Panzerfaust from the rear. Panzer IV is moving to take it down. Engine just got destroyed by that Panzerfaust. Even if it hadn't, though, it would probably die regardless. This Sherman is trying to move to support over here on the left side, but I think we're finally going to see Cruzz get a lucky break. He's made a fresh anti-tank gun, and that Sherman will go down because of some overly aggressive maneuvers. Sirlami wants to trade, though. Sherman going in on the Panzer IV with Jackson support. There's the big hit from the Jackson. Anti-tank gun is available to support in this engagement. I don't know if that Panzer IV will survive this. Jackson is not in range for a second shot, and that Sherman needs to get out of here. P-47 strike just got called into Cruzz's base. Panzer IV shot bounces, Sherman shot connects. And they will destroy each other before the P-47 even arrives. They both just killed each other. Well, that is probably a more painful loss for Cruzz than for Sirlami. Sirlami has 40 fuel coming in, Cruzz has 10. So Sirlami can easily trade 2 Shermans for 1 Panzer IV every time. His tanks are coming onto the field so much quicker. And he's got the safety net of this Jackson. He still has the superior infantry army. He still has the M20. The only ace in the hole for Cruzz this game is the sniper. The sniper up to 35 kills, which is not even that many for a 21-minute game. It's respectable. But it needs to be higher. Working on that now, taking shots at these infantry from range, while the tanks are still, new ones still need to be fielded. The squads need to retreat. That anti-tank gun needs to pull back to a more safe location. He will struggle against Cruzz's team weapons and infantry while he waits for another tank to arrive. Doesn't really have anything that can stop them except for just riflemen and lieutenant, which need to reinforce, heal up, and engage with superior numbers. Otherwise, they won't be able to overwhelm that sniper's position, and they'll just get kited to death. Riflemen move into close range on those grenadiers to prevent rifle grenades. And they'll win that engagement. Cruzz will have no choice but to retreat from that, and the victory points continue to tick against Cruzz despite the fact that he has slowed the clock here in the center. He's running out of time. He has decrewed this AT gun temporarily. I'm not sure what he wants to do for his next tank. If he tries to go for Tiger, I don't know if he'll make it. Still no commander selection from him. He could afford another tier 3 unit, but if he gets that, he'll be sacrificing his ability to go for a Tiger for a long time. Looks like he feels he has no choice. Light artillery barrage? No, major artillery. Was it at least fake? Oh, that major artillery hit! Wow! That actually did something. Go major artillery. It also destroys that green cover position, which you may or may not consider worth it. I don't know. He's got a huge munitions advantage. It's the only form of artillery he has is airborne, so I don't know. I'm excited that it actually got a kill for once. Ooh. Nice pickup by Cruzz on the right side. Rifle grenade wipes a rifleman squad on the flank. Sherman has a damaged engine, needs to pull back away from that AT gun, needs to be careful not to lose any more tanks. Or at least trade effectively. Sniper is in a very out of position location. Oh no! Cruzz waited way too long for that retreat. There was no yellow cover anywhere, he couldn't camo, and he goes down. Anti-tank gun also about to go down to that. Oh! Whoa! Huge hit from the Panzer IV though, and another rifle squad just got wiped. Look how small Sirlami's infantry army is now. 2 rifle squads wiped. Now only 1 rifle squad, 1 lieutenant remain, taking a lot of infantry losses in these engagements. The loss of the sniper is a pretty good trade though. Pretty good trade. Not as valuable as 2 rifle squads, but definitely good to have that off the field. The victory points are still ticking against Cruzz, but now that the game is almost getting kind of close. P-47 strike got called in on the Panzer IV again, and it will be forced to pull all the way back to base. Needs to try and keep that tank away from his one-man grenadier squad if he can. He does a good job of making sure his tank is split away from the rest of his own forces so that the rockets don't hit the anti-tank gun, don't hit any infantry formations. As he makes his way back into the center of the map, this squad of grenadiers working on the right side has got the victory point and strategic points under control. The Sherman's going to go do counter harassment of the right, try and keep the victory points ticking against Cruzz as fast as possible. M20 is still alive, despite taking who even knows how many anti-tank gun shots. Really good M20 micro this game from Sirlami. Keeping that alive all game long is a very powerful thing to do. Right side's going to fall into those rear echelon troops' hands, as these grenadiers will be forced to retreat. away from the Sherman. Panzer IV receiving repairs in Cruzz's base. He's rapidly running out of time to make something happen on the map. Here comes another big grenade low. Oh, that was so close. Will he get the wipe? No. Gets away by a hair. Sirlami's rifle preservation is getting a little close here at the end of the game. If he's not careful and loses all of his infantry squads, he may find himself in a really dangerous situation where he starts losing map control. So far, he seems to be maintaining a strong hold, though. Panzerfaust connects with that Sherman, destroying its engine for a second time in this game, but it should be fine. He can just get out and repair critical. I don't think that AT gun's gonna be able to destroy it. Engine is repaired, gets back in the Sherman. Lieutenant making a play for the center VP. Panzer IV has been fully repaired. The P-47 rocket strafe has ended, and it's making its way towards the center, or left, to assist. Here comes a dead M20, I think. I don't think it's going to be able to survive this situation. It's completely unsupported over here. No M6 anti-tank mines. Panzer IV goes in, tries to take this thing out, and it should be successful. Finally, M20. Oh, he gets the crew out just in the last instant that it was possible. Crew escapes the M20 and will be able to retreat to safety. Anti-tank gun taking shots at the Sherman right there. There's another Sherman on the field. Panzer IV moving up to try to screen aggressively with two anti-tank guns moving up to assist. Full squad of Grenadiers just got wiped right there by infantry. Pios will be next. If they don't pull back to safety, they're falling way too low. Cruzz retreat. That squad. Dead Pios. That's two infantry squads wiped. His AT guns have to pull back to safety. He doesn't have enough firepower here to win this engagement unless his Panzer IV starts getting some miracle hits on those infantry, and nothing is connecting. No good. On the right side, the machine gun and Grenadiers will get the victory point under control, but Cruzz has only 50 points remaining. He is going to be double capped, or no, he'll get that one under control, but the clock is ticking against him. It's ticking against him this entire game, except for those 22 victory points he's managed to knock off the board, and he's completely struggling. He hasn't really decisively won an engagement yet. The only real victories he's had are flank engagements where his opponent was either not paying attention or overextended a vehicle, got engine damage, and was destroyed by the tank. So, no commander selection from Cruzz either, because he doesn't have the resources to utilize any doctrinal features. He doesn't have the munitions for Stuka close air support. He doesn't have the fuel for Tiger. He needs the less expensive core options because he has no choice but to try and make plays now with the things he has at his disposal now. There's no time to wait for anything else. Machine gun team gets wiped over here on the right side by a grenade, I think. Oh no, not a grenade. I don't even know what killed them. Just a well-executed infantry flank, I guess. Machine gun team wiped on the right side. Grenadiers trying to take control of the center. Rifle grenade on the lieutenant. Doesn't do much, honestly. It barely did anything. AT. Grenadiers have no choice but to retreat. Big infantry flank coming from the right side, putting those AT guns in danger. The Sherman moving in on the flank. Paratroopers being dropped as well. This could be a huge engagement. Bazooka snipes the remaining crew member of that. Sherman moving in from the left, cleans out that AT gun. Both AT guns cleared. And that's the game. Cruzz cannot hold the line against these well-executed Allied pushes. Really tight micro from Sirlami the entire game. Made a few mistakes with his Shermans, but those were mistakes he could afford because he had such superior map control. He had excellent map control, working the flanks for the entire game with those superior mobile US forces, and Cruzz just could not do anything about it. GG. Short break, and we will jump into game 2.